morning, viewers, wherever you are following us from. This is your weekly news run on Atlantic TV with me, OMAR TAAL. We begin the run-up with the protest that took place from Iceman in Carnifin to the Youth Monument in Westfield, where thousands of youth saw their frustration toward the government of President Barrow over rampant corruption and impunity. President Barrow told supporters that 75% of Gambians support his leadership. A renowned lawyer denies any involvement into the sailings of the Tanjay Bird Reserve. On the international scenes, death toll hits Gaza after Israeli attack. An electoral commission banned in Burkina Faso. This is the news in summary. We now bring you in detail. A group of organized Gambians took to the street to show their dissatisfaction toward the government of President Barrow against rampant corruption and impunity, against the backdrop of looted assets of the former President Jammeh. We have more in this report by Atlantic TV's Fatuma Tambai.
What started as a group of few individuals with the aim of full declaration of Jammeh's assets looted by the government. Gambians Against Looted Asset Gala has now turned to be a full-fledged national movement growing in leaps and bounds across the country. On a first major national peaceful protest 2 months after dozens of its members were arrested, thousands of Gambian youths took to the street from Iceman to Westfield Monument in what could be described as a highly show of dissatisfaction towards the government of President Barrow by Gala. To an impunity.
People wanna know who we are, so we tell them, we are the fighters, the mighty fighters, the mighty fighters everywhere.
To end impunity, corruption and poor governance in the Gambia. The peaceful protest brought together Gambians from all walks of life in condemning President Barrow's government continued and blatant injustice and murder all across the government institutions. It is a call that resonates with all Gambians as civil societies, including Edward Francis Center for Peace and Justice and other stakeholders, added their voices to the protest. The protest, according to some Gambians, would be the beginning of the government of President Barrow to look and work in fight against endemic corruption and to close loopholes that continues to plague progress. The protesters further reaffirmed their positions for government to act swiftly and must be proactive in the fight to end corruption, impunity, and justice for the 66 babies who died in acute kidney injury. It is an unrelenting voice that echoes with energy and patriotism for the inclusive government open to accountability and transparency. The protesters sent a different messages to the government on healthcare, cost of living, education, agriculture, employment, and other issues of national importance, and reaffirmed its continued commitment to take the streets if their demands are not addressed and fulfilled. It ends with some sort of defiance when members of the Gala team calls on petitioned government institutions to send their representatives to receive the petitions letters, including Office of the President, Attorney General, Kemba, National Assembly, which falls short in the required benchmark. When no representative was sent from the Gambia Football Federation, we tried to get different between government representatives and protesters, which put a traffic to standstill through the observation of jury prayers. Atlantic TV News, I am Fatuma Tambai.
That was Atlantic TV's Fatuma Tambai, giving reports on just concluded protests that took place from the Iceman Johnson in Carnifin to the monument in Westfield. Another development, President Barrow told his supporters that 75% of the population is in support of his leadership, citing the light turnout at Central River Region Women Rally in Janjambure as evidence of public backing for his government's development agenda. The rally was organized by Ajamai Munabalde, the NPP women mobilizer, who double as the native of the region too. Barrow spoke about nationwide improvement in public service delivery, stating significant improvement have been made in training health professionals at all levels, and among other key issues of national development. Livestock Director General testified before the Jammeh Commission. National Assembly Select Committee investigating the sale and disposal of assets of former President Jammeh, identified by Jammeh Commission on Monday, heard testimony from the Director of Gambia Livestock and Marketing Agency, Parks and Wildlife. Director Mohamed Lamin Gassama has denied receiving a court order concerning former President Jammeh's livestock. He made this disclosure during his testimony before the National Assembly Select Committee on the Sale and Disposal of Assets identified by the Janneh Commission. A renowned Gambian lawyer, Esam Fall, denies any illegal involvement into Tanjay Bar Reserve sale. In a dark revelation by the Malagan, in which the former lead counsel Boy rejects some suggestion by readers of the article, which says Tanjay Bar Reserve carved up for sale, inside deal to turn protect land into profit. So their team came to review the statement issued by the Malagan in the strongest time. It read, they seek to implicate Mr. Fall in illegal land dealings. Nowhere in this article does the publisher state that Mr. Fall acted unlawfully. Sambai Fall made extensive preparation to apply to the Gambia Tourism Board for land allocation. He submitted his application on 30th July 2019 to secure land within the TDA for the construction of a mixed-use resort. Mr. Fall invested millions of dollars in preparing the necessary plans and documents and paid $55,000 as the application fee. Other Gambians also applied for land allocation at this stage in TDA, where land allocated for foreigners. Mr. Fall also convinced by the new Gambian concept that he named his project the New Gambia Resort. Social Security trains journalists on finance and tax reporting. Network of financial and tax reporters in collaboration with National Security, Social Security, Housing and Finance Corporation held a day-long training with the media practitioners at the Nana Conference Hall in Bakau. The training is aimed at strengthening the morals of the journalists on how to report on matters of finance and tax services in the country. Speaking at the training, Fabukan Njai, the Director of Corporate Affairs at the Social Security, highlighted the pictorial analysis of tax and financial service of the institution and the significance of saving with the corporation, which helps Social Security in its investment and the employee after retirement for a sustainable life, and call on the media for a more robust reporting on tax and finance. On the international scenes, high death toll hits Gaza after Israel attack. Hospitals in Gaza Strip recorded the death of 15 people, including 4 children, due to famine and malnutrition over the past 24 hours. Hamas-run hospital of Ministry of Health in Gaza said on Tuesday. That brings the death toll number from famine to nutrition since the war began to 101, which include 80 children, according to the Ministry of Health. Burkina Faso's junta leader Ibrahim Traoré have disbanded the country's electoral commission, calling a waste of money. The Interior Ministry handled election in future since seizing power in 2022. The coup leader have initiated sweeping reform, including postponement of election, which would lead to return to civilian rule. The government passed a law late Wednesday abolishing the Independent National Electoral Commission, a body responsible for organizing elections, citing its course. Minister of Territorial Administration Emery Dabo said after a cabinet meeting, abolishing the Electoral Commission will reinforce the country's sovereign control on the electoral process and limit foreign influence. Dabo added, the RTV state broadcaster said the Interior Ministry will take control of the future polls. In another development, a new video and photo of 1993 emerged between President Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. A new video and photos which have not been widely reported and predate any of Epstein's known legal issues come amid renewed scrutiny of President Trump's relationship with Epstein. The Justice Department's recent decision not to release long-promised file related to Epstein has sparked outrage in some corners of MAGA establishment. In a statement on CNN, White House Communication Director Stephen Chung said these are nothing more than out-of-context frame grab of innocuous videos and pictures of widely attended events of disgustingly infer something nefarious, allegation that Epstein sexually abused underage girls. The first of his 2005 leading to his arrest later, which he was arrested in 2019 on federal sex trafficking charges and later died in jail, spreading numerous conspiracy theories. The past relationship with Epstein dated back to 1980s and included regular appearance at social events in Palm Beach and New York. No U.S. law enforcement authorities have ever accused Trump of wrongdoing. We have more in this CNN report.
So we know that Trump and Epstein were friends during this period. This is really the first time that it's actually been reported that Trump invited Epstein to his wedding. This is, we should note, more than a decade before those first allegations of sex trafficking against Epstein. But as you know, Trump's relationship with Epstein has been under the microscope recently. Now, besides that one photo of Epstein entering the reception at the Plaza Hotel, we can also see him in the background of another picture. That's Howard Stern on the far right, along with Robin Leach from Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. And Epstein is behind them at the wedding, almost seeming to be photobombing them. We also found this photo from just a few months earlier. Donald Trump with two of his children talking to Jeffrey Epstein. That's at the opening of the Harley-Davidson Cafe in New York in October 1993. You can see Ivana there. She would have been just about to turn 12 years old in that photo.
Yeah, you can see Ivanka right there it looks like between Trump and Epstein. All right, these are never before seen photos, Andrew. I know you also found some video of Trump and Epstein that was from later of them talking that has also never surfaced before. What's that?
Well, that's right. This is from 6 years later in 1999. This video has never been seen before in this context. It shows Trump talking to Jeffrey Epstein just before models hit the runway at the Victoria's Secret fashion show in New York in 1999. You know, the only other video we've seen of the two men was 7 years before this. Trump is at the show with Melania, who is, of course, now First Lady, seated a few feet away from Epstein. You can see them chatting during the show as well. Allegations that Epstein sexually abused underage girls didn't surface until 2005, years after this video was shot.